fact, as we speak live.
Even though it doesn't show.
There's this huge lag. We have to
lag.
wait for this lag. And I noticed, because I actually went back and watched one of our videos last night just for giggles.
To see what happens, yes.
See what you get. And it does definitely go live as soon as the red light comes on.
Because we seem startled.
But it cuts off bloody immediately when you stop the broadcast. So,
well, that's interesting.
So we've no idea what's going on. So good morning, everybody. Welcome indeed to Elevensies with Lisa and Anton. Obviously, I'm Anton.
And I'm Lisa. And this is our morning show.
It is indeed. And it's kind of interesting because people say, well, there's morning shows and there's late night shows. But we think we're the only one of a kind of a late morning show. So
How did you come up with that?
It probably is. It's kind of cooler. It's like the opportune time.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Brenda.
Hello, Gilda. It's the opportune time, really, to have a cup of coffee and just, settle for a minute and realign your thoughts.
All right, so it's Friday.
It is. It's Friday, April the 16th.
Oh, my gosh. And some people had snow last night up in the upper
I know. Oh, no.
Poor people. Anyway.
We didn't, fortunately.
So Friday is our day to talk about our story, and I believe we left off with pudding lies.
The pudding lies, I think you should recap for those who weren't watching last week.
Yes, we covered Christmas pud, which is nasty fruitcake with rum sauce. We covered Yorkshire pudding, which is really lovely. Yorkshire pudding is like a bread bowl baked in the oven to hold your gravy and meat. That's lovely.
Similar to a popover.
Black pudding, which has nothing to do with pudding. It's a blood sausage, right. And then all desserts can be called pudding even if there's no custard in them because they usually were put in a bowl.
But your idea of custard and our idea of custard are completely different as well.
Right. But anyway.
The French have a name for it, crème anglaise.
Crème anglaise.
It's custard.
All right. So
everything.
That's the pudding lies.
Yes.
So today, I think I'll ask you.
Yes.
What did you notice besides me when you first got here? What were your other than
you want my really first impression?
Not of Kennedy Airport. No.
I was gonna say, welcome to the free world, the premier capital of the free. Yeah.
No, you told that story already, so not that.
Okay.
No. Like when you got upstate, when you got to the shop, what did you think?
I guess you see, like pretty much everybody else in some idea of the developed world, we all have an idea of what New York's supposed to look like, and I imagined it to be this huge, sprawling metropolis, like Birmingham, only bigger and never sleeps. It's the city that never sleeps. It was famed for that, but I discovered very quickly. On the ride back from the airport that we weren't actually going to anywhere like a sprawling metropolis. In fact, one of my very first things...
Apple orchards everywhere.
No, the first thing that struck me about this country was oddly... like smells are very evocative.
Oh.
I went, what the hell's that? No, I probably said, what the chuffing hell is that?
What the effing bloody hell is that, is what you said. And I said, oh, that would be skunk. And about 20 minutes later...
Stays with you, doesn't it? It just we don't have skunks in England. So.
Oh, but you have badgers in there.
Oh, yeah, but the smell stays pretty local to the badger when they peed on something or whatever they peed on, which is horrible. It's horrible, nice horrible, nasty. But actually, skunk smell is volatile. Incredibly volatile because it carried on the wind for miles and it was just this is wild. I've never seen a skunk. I have since, obviously.
Well, obviously now, yes, but
didn't see that one either. Just smelt it.
That was a shock to your system, right?
What got me, I think the biggest thing that got me, apart from the light is completely different over here.
The sky is bigger, yeah.
So many more trees. You have to understand that I was born in Birmingham, and that's a sprawling metropolis. Lived just outside of Birmingham in Stourbridge, although that is suburban, I guess. It was still fairly well built up, and there weren't, an awful lot of forestry or anything around. And we did a pretty good job of England in ruining our forests. Totally. We cut them to the ground to make stuff, you know. So there's not a lot of forest. I mean, wherever you go in England, you'll see there's wide expanses of open land. There's lots of it. There's lots of countryside, and it's quite beautiful, and it's very green.
That's what I was going to say when you asked what did I notice, if you ever let me talk.
I gotta say, first off, hello Heather, hello Sparky, hello Nessa, hello Wendy. I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, but the one thing I noticed was trees. My God, there are so many trees, and it's like every bit of land that has not been developed is forest here, and it's amazing. But they're young trees; they're fairly young.
Right, we are missing a lot of our elders, our tree elders, and it's starting to take its toll. But what I first noticed when we were flying in early in the morning, the flight's an overnight flight, so and you lose 5 hours. So when you get there, you know,
it's cruel. You get off the plane like
and 9 o'clock in the morning their time, but it's really only 2 a.m. where you've come from. So you just have to try to keep yourself awake. But flying in, the first time I went was February, and Ireland. When I looked down, I thought, whoa, I know why they call it the Emerald Isle. It was so green. So it was a few weeks after Imbolc, Galmea, and the ground was starting to show signs of spring. There was a greening. I remember the snowdrops. And
snowdrop bank.
And I just thought, wow, this place is so green. And yes, Birmingham was a city. And then the further we got towards Old Hall Cottage, the more rural it became. And when we turned down the lane where there's only 6 houses, I thought, I may never see my family again.
Hardly.
But I took a little hike up the hill up onto the top and realized that I was sat in the middle of oak and ash and thorn.
This is true.
And there were definitely elder trees, but there were definitely ancient trees. There was an oak tree on Anton's property that was probably around 800 or 900 years old. And I spent quite a bit of time getting to know the trees. It was really wonderful, listening to what they had to say and meditating with them. And we had a little elder tree, a young elder tree at the end of the driveway before you go over the bridge.
Right.
That I think was kind of the protector. And the farmer next door had these sheepdogs that were more like dingoes, for God's sakes.
Russia wants in on the gig.
Russia wants to be petted.
Russia wants in on the gig today.
And they would chase my cat. And we came home one night and she was stuck up in the elder tree. But I think if she hadn't been, she probably would have been eaten by the dingoes. Which is another story.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. That would be interesting. We'll save that one for another
You want to save that one?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no.
I won't swear on it.
You did.
No, I didn't swear on YouTube or Facebook, but I certainly swore. You knew I was from New York that morning. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll tell the story.
Oh, go on then.
All right. So a new lady moved in who decided that she didn't need to keep her crazy dog on a leash, who attacked the 2-year-old across the street, who attacked our neighbor's dog that was on a leash. And one morning I was answering my email. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I was downstairs.
Mind you, I had broadband.
He was still asleep. And I was answering my email and I heard this screaming, Puppy, Puppy! And I looked out and Minnie is running and she's not far ahead of this dog that we know has been attacking things. And the dog's off the leash again. So I took my broom. And I ran out, and thankfully Minnie didn't try to run into the cat flap, because I think if she did, he'd have caught her. She ran up a tree, really far up a tree.
Oh,
No. So I went out with my broom, and I did not connect with the dog, and it's probably a good thing, because I think I probably would have killed it. But people definitely on the lane knew I was from New York that morning, because every expletive possible was screamed at this woman who said, oh, it's my fault. And I said, yeah, it's GD, right? It's your fault. And if I connect with your dog, I'm going to, kill it. And she followed me into the kitchen, which by this time Anton had come downstairs.
So what the hell's going on?
Lisa doesn't behave like this. What's going on?
This is a peaceful place.
And I said to him, make her leave because I'm this close to decking her.
Steady now. Steady. We're supposed to be spreading a message of love and light here.
But she was
we are
just
very defensive of our
of course, so. And she was crazy. You can't live in a populated area. I mean,
sparsely populated.
Her dog chased the nesting pheasants on the neighbor's property. He was livid. It attacked the 2-year-old across the street. Those people were livid. It attacked the other dog walkers.
George, up the road threatened to shoot it because he was wearing his sheep.
But I usually don't react. I usually calmly respond. And, many times if there's a dramatic situation or a difficult situation, I'm the one who's there to be calm in the moment or get people to sleep on it, think about it. But I really did come close to doing her bodily harm.
Heather's just laughing her ass off. Well, you wouldn't imagine Lisa to be like that, but we're all very defensive of our fur babies. We love them.
My goodness,
we really do. And Minnie had a very special
Minnie had a special life too. Minnie came here. Minnie was flown in a big jet and for the price should have been fed salmon in first class.
Easily.
And
I would strongly suggest.
She was lovely little puss. My Minnie Mew.
She was lovely.
She's the one who ate the creme brulee that he was joking about last time.
Well, we'll have to tell that. That was. It's funny. We were talking about preparing the beautiful meal, and Minnie actually did sample
4 of the 6.
Fortunately, we had 2 decent untouched ones that we could feed our guests. But
she was a pip, that one. Yeah.
Why not just eat one, Minnie? Why do you have to?
She just sampled the tops of 4 of them.
I don't know. She was someone else. But God, butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. So you just put her head to the side and go, me? I didn't do that. Yeah, right.
Minnie peep, yeah.
I can see you did it. There's footage.
Goodness.
Yes. But I'm totally all for, people having their dogs have the freedom of the beautiful country and all that sort of stuff. But
not at the expense of other animals' lives.
Have your dog trained well enough that it's not going to be a threat to other people and other animals and stuff. That's called responsibility.
Right. She was definitely not a good neighbor. And I think
not really a country person.
No, I think she moved eventually because people were just like, look, it's not that hard to walk your dog on a leash. It really isn't.
Well, if your dog can't behave off the leash, you really need to have it on the leash. Yeah. But there are plenty of dogs that are tremendously well. They're very. I hate the word obedient, but they know how to behave around other dogs and around people, and they don't chase everything, and especially like.
People are laughing. I can see it. Probably.
But you had to see it. I don't think I've ever seen Lisa quite so angry, broom in hand. So one thing I wanted to say, and this is where we touched on after the pudding lies, last week, you get known in Wales by your occupation.
Oh yes.
We were going to say this, so this is kind of cool.
And the computer.
Well, yeah, they kind of recognise that I'm.
Because you had Jones the Undertaker and Jones the Mechanic and Jones the yeah. So Anton was Anton the computer.
You'd never guess what Lisa became known as. That would be Lisa the Witch. And we weren't overly public about our religious practices.
But I remember one of the first times I went over, we went to a party and the local vicar was there. And he was an odd dude. And
wasn't he?
He had his little drink and he said, oh, look.
He rather liked to tipple, if I remember right.
And he had this weird, wanting to touch me and talk about me like I wasn't there kind of thing. It was very strange. So this is one of the first times I'm there and he takes me outside and he says, oh dear, do come out. The moon is full. We should look at it. And he starts explaining to me the cycles of the moon.
Oh, it's nice of him.
And I'm just like, you have no idea who I am. Because not only do I know the moon is full, I could tell you what sign it's full in. He was an
following the moon for a while.
I kind of understand the cycles of the moon, but I was polite. But yes, Lisa the witch. Yeah. And then
he was a little strange.
It was really funny. The farmer next door changed a gate and cut us off from our upper property right before we left the one time, or while we were gone. And then he had a terrible car accident. So when we got back, he asked if I had anything to do with it. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? I don't do that kind of stuff. No. But it was just Lisa the witch. It was weird. Although I would, have clocked the dog with the broom. I wouldn't have wished George any harm.
No, we could get onto Wiccan ethics now and spend the next week talking about
that. Yeah.
But no, certainly we're generally very very passive. Yeah, I think we're passive.
Well, I think we're hardworking and we have a lot of endurance. Like
you got to, just got to. Nobody's going to come and do it for you.
No.
So,
but for the most part, we're peacekeepers, I would think. Yeah.
Hathli. Yes, the peacekeepers.
The peacekeepers.
That's what the police is in Wales.
Hathli.
Yeah. So we got so many tales. We'll find some photographs and stuff like that.
Yeah, we should.
One of the most amazing ones. Speaking about trees, you started. It's interesting that the landscape does claim you for its own, and we can both attest to this in individual and really weird and personal stories. One of the first times that Lisa took me up into the Adirondacks, never been there in my life before.
Oh, yeah.
And we stopped, we rented
a little cabin on Lake Adirondack, yeah.
Yeah, on Adirondack Lake, isn't it? I think that's what it's called, the actual Adirondack Lake. It's quite small. It's
Lake Adirondack.
Yeah, it's a very
not Indian Lake.
Yeah,
it's in Indian Lake, but it's Lake Adirondack.
It's in the town of Indian Lake, yeah. Hey Sarah, we've got somebody new watching us. Hello, thank you for joining us. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That'd be wonderful.
So we went out on a little rowboat fishing.
I've never been fishing in my life before. Would you believe? I know. So that was the first experience for me going fishing, and this little promontory that we were just off,
peninsula, yeah,
somehow felt so weirdly familiar. Like I've been here before. And that was just like odd, and that really strong connection to the land. And I still feel it when I go. I love lakes and mountains. I think that's my thing.
We're very lucky, blessed to live in a beautiful area.
Oh, we got lakes and mountains around here, that's for sure. Sure. But you had a really strong connection with the trees on
Old Hall
at Old Hall. Yeah. I know you took a. Oh, excuse me. It's coffee. Coffee's making me clarty. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. You took an absolutely beautiful picture of the rising sun one Yule morning. I know that.
Through the ook tree, yeah. And you can see Owen shooting. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was lovely.
We used it for our Yule card a couple of years.
Well, maybe we'll print some this year or something like. Why not? We'll do something.
Well, it must be time for card of the day.
It's got to be because we're wittering on. But So first impressions. The landscape is so beautiful. I just loved it, and I was amazed at how many
recently had. We must not have shuffled.
Pull them out and shuffle them then. Pull them out and shuffle them. Let's do something different.
Like it can't be the same card.
Yeah,
it could be. It could be the same
Maybe
card for days.
The lesson will be repeated until learned.
But I'm thinking we just have put them all back in the same spot. So why don't you choose one?
Oh, really? What about this one?
If it's the same one, I will really laugh. Oh, dear.
No. Okay. So, Fantastic Friday. Just make sure it's not Frenetic Friday. I had to do this without being hopelessly rude. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one. And sometimes people like to foist their opinion upon you and say, no, you should be doing that. No, you should be doing this.
Do it this way. Do it
this way. Sometimes you need to just step aside from the madding crowd, if you will, and take your own counsel and listen to your intuition and find that place of peace and calm. When you're embroiled in a situation, when it's complete chaos around you, what's the old adage? When you're up to your ass in alligators, it's hard to remember your objective was to drain the swamp.
Yes.
So try to give yourself a bit of breathing space.
Savannah says, I love that the broom was your weapon of choice.
Of course. My other car is a broom.
All right. So my advice for today.
Yes.
5s are struggle.
They can be.
But in the end, you have the ultimate control over you. So you know how I was saying I try to respond and not react? That's my message for today. Take a deep breath. Put down your broom. Take a deep breath.
Step away from the broom.
No, but seriously, if you let something bother you, it's going to bother you. If you don't let it bother you, it's not going to bother you. So even though you might feel like you're being closed in on, under attack, or what have you, you can figure out a way to diffuse the situation, take a deep breath, step back, and enjoy your life. So today's message is take a deep breath, step back, respond, and don't react. If you bark at the barking dog, it barks louder. If you try to figure out why the dog is barking, you might be able to calm the situation.
She says, I love that saying. I don't know what saying we're on about. There's so
many sayings.
There's just so many anecdotes gone through. It's this anecdote city, isn't it?
It is. All right. So, number 5 is alive. Have a great day, people.
It is indeed. We whittled on a fair bit. We've got
to get on with things. We've got 400 candles to put out.
Oh gosh, yeah. We've been decanning candles this morning, so we got a whole bunch of those. We were busy all day making candles yesterday. So check out our other videos on the channel. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. At Awareness Shop, and please like, comment, and subscribe. You'll notice our subscribers. Give me
slowly rising.
If I can manage to get to the end of this video without choking.
79 more.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So please tell your friends and all that fun stuff. And thank you so much for watching.
Peace out. Have a great day.
Amazing, wonderful day. And we may or may not have box openings. I don't know what comes in.
I don't know.
Depends on what's
400 candles. We're not going to do a box opening.
No. There's a lot of stuff in the wind though. There's a lot of book orders out there.
There's always stuff. You never know.
So but if we don't see you, we'll see you Monday morning for Elevensies with Lisa and Anton. Thank you so much for watching.